Alright, so I still don't know how to use this selfie stick or really what I'm doing with these electronic devices. But anyways, so for this segment, this next clip, I just think I'm going to take you down the emotional roller coaster I've had revolving around this property here. Just walking alongside it. I'm not going to go too much more farther down. This grass is wet and people driving by. We do live on a somewhat main road. It's right behind this. I don't know if you can see, there's a rock wall behind there. There's all ferns that grow there. So, I don't know, we don't really cut the ferns. And then these other plants are next to the fern. They grow blue flowers, I believe, and they're really pretty. So, I don't know. We clean it up like a couple times a year. I don't know if you could see through there though, but that's where the property is. And they already started cutting stuff. You can see in there, it's just like, I don't know. So, I'm just going to take you through. Oh, there's some wild snapdragons. It looks like, or maybe they're not snapdragons. They're not open all the way. Some pretty yellow flowers. It's in here. Now this is a really cool spot for like my kid to play. It's like a little fairy doorway, but you can see the light in there because they started cutting. Right beyond that, they started cutting, the developers. I think just because the brush and the forest here is so thick because it's, never been touched. Oh my god. So yeah, that's the little area they opened up over there. But I mean, it's just like really cool, low viney, kind of climby places you can go and play, like, especially in here in this plant. I forget the name of this plant all the time. It grows like clusters of white bell flowers. Can you see it in there? It's just so cute. That was like one of the selling points to me of being here. That particular little space in there. I just thought I would just love to play with my kids there and watch them play. Here's that rock wall, that rock pathway to the old outhouse we talked about in the other video. Yeah, so right up these, steps. I think they were more like steps. They're kind of, disheveled now. But yeah, you would go up these steps, and right up here on the top of the rock wall, there used to be an outhouse, because our house was the first house on the street to get electricity and the last house to get plumbing. So that outhouse was there up until the 1960s, I heard. So I'm just going to sit here and tell them a story. Because we're trying to save the forest behind me. Ever since, as far as I can remember, I always wanted to live in an antique house completely surrounded by forest. That's all I ever wanted. Ever. My family used to, so yeah, we live on the East Coast. I'm in New England. And for family vacations every summer, we would take this long road trip down south. North Carolina, South Carolina and Florida. And Virginia and stuff, but, mostly South Carolina and Florida. And I used to drive through North Carolina, and oh man, you just see these these farmhouses on like this huge plot of land, and no one's around them for miles. Not anyone. There's no house. It's just this one farmhouse. So I've always just thought that was, I just always wanted, that's how I always wanted to live like that. Just like, I wanted to buy one house, and I didn't want to move ever again. And one of the main things I wanted was no neighbors. Just like, I just want to live in a little quiet area. I just want to be quiet. I lived in the city for a long time. I guess both the places I grew up were cities. One of them wasn't always a city, but it turned out that way. As of more recent times, I mean, I'm sure they don't all start off as cities, because these are old New England towns. But yeah, I mean, basically city life, like just, people all over you, just everywhere. There's just houses everywhere, and people, and stacked houses or stacked buildings, apartment buildings, condos. It wasn't for me. And I moved out on my own, affordable housing to save up for my dream house. Affordable housing was in the city, so, we made it work. We found cute little spots, and, we always knew what the end goal was, and, just happy to be together on the journey. So, we always made it work. But finally, it came time that we had to buckle down and buy a house. It was time. Put our roots down and nestle into the world. Nestle, cuddle, So we looked and looked and looked and looked for a year, and I didn't want to settle. It had to meet. All I wanted was an antique house, completely surrounded by forest, no neighbors. I could work with that. I mean, that was like the main thing I could work with. And I, wanted a certain amount of bedrooms, and I guess that was kind of important. I got the minimum. I kind of wanted another bedroom, but we just fell in love so much that, given time, we could rework the spaces and have it benefit us. But, so yeah, so after a year of looking, this place fell into our lap, basically. We were just searching for houses on our own. I was just kind of, I just kind of am like super independent. I don't like ask anyone for, like, I just, I have a goal and I'm going to go figure it out. So I wanted an antique house in the woods. So I just started looking. I would look on the map of the state, and I would just like find an area that looked like it would be quiet, and I just started searching in the area. We had flexible jobs, and it didn't really matter where in the state we worked to a degree. So, so after a year of looking or so, I found this one house. I'm like, this could be it. This is cool. It was a really interesting house. And I called and to find a realtor to show us the house. I called the number on listing, and I don't know, I wasn't getting back to for a little bit. I don't know if I was calling the wrong numbers or... Anyways, finally, someone got back to me, and she said, I understand why you like this house, and I'm going to find you something that's a little more... I don't know, I should probably use the word like move-in ready or something, I'm sure the other one needed somewhat work. Anyways, so yeah, so she said, I'll show you this house, and I'll show you some other ones, and we'll go from there. So a week later, she sent me like a little itinerary, like 4 or 5 days later, she sent me a little itinerary, and she's like, these are the houses. And